Welcome back to Piers, Uncensored. Andrew Yang raised tens of millions of dollars as an upstart Democrat candidate for US president in 2020, bolstered by appearances on podcasts like the Joe Rogan Experience. He even gave him support of billionaire Twitter owner Elon Musk, who said at the time, "I support Yang," adding, "our first openly goth president." I think this is very important. I'm sure we can all agree with that. It's a reference to Mr. Yang's teenage musical taste. Well, now he's quit the Democrats to begin a new movement claiming two-party politics has failed. He joins me now. Andrew Yang, thank you very much indeed for joining Piers Morgan Uncensored.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me, Piers.
So look, everyone basically agrees American politics has gone slightly bonkers. You now appear to be heading to a situation where an octogenarian may be shaping up against someone who would become an octogenarian if he was to get re-elected in a presidential race. Out of 320 million people, this does seem to be at the very lower end of ambition for a country like the United States. You've gone off now on your own path. How is that going? Is there really a place for someone like you and a movement like you to cut through America's apparently intransigent two-party system?
Well, tens of thousands of Americans have already signed up for the Forward Party, Piers, because they know that the two-party system is crumbling before our eyes. And you're talking about a potential matchup between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. About 60% of Americans are not excited about either of those choices. And it's a very clear emblem of the dysfunction you're talking about, where you have two parties that claim to represent the majority of the American people. Meanwhile, about half of Americans are political independents and unrepresented in this system. That's what we're trying to change with the Forward Party.
Your critics would say you started with a bit of a bang, but you're not getting much traction. In fact, it sort of appears to be slightly running out of steam. Is that true? And what can you do about it if you are?
Well, the Forward Party is growing by leaps and bounds every single day. I travel around the country and millions of Americans are fed up, and they're figuring out that there's something we can do about it. We can come together, form this new movement, the Forward Party, and create more choices for ourselves in the 500,000 elected races locally around the country, but also at federal races and at every level, because at this point the discontent is so high.
Now, you've been vocal about the woke brigade. I think you share my view, a lot of it is lunacy. But so is someone like Governor Ron DeSantis, for example. How do you find any kind of real traction on policy or ideology which will take you away from the conventional politicians?
Well, if you dig into these issues, Piers, you see that there's generally a consensus middle ground. And unfortunately, on either side of the aisle now, you're getting more currency and points for lambasting the other side than you are in solving the problem. It was a U.S. senator who said to me, at this point in the American political system, is a problem is worth more to us unaddressed politically than it is addressed. And I want you to think about those implications. So even if someone on one side of the aisle might have the right approach, they're actually going to be rewarded not for reaching across and trying to compromise and craft a solution, but they'll be rewarded if they just stay on their side and throw rocks at the other side.
But I would say, and I've got a lot of respect for you and what you're trying to do here, and I agree with a lot of the points you make. But as you know, in politics, you can only get things done if you actually win power. And I would say you've got two hopes of winning power, certainly in terms of winning a presidency, and that's no hope and Bob hope. So what is the end game here for you? Because you're not going to win the White House. How are you going to get power? Are you hoping to do it at local level and then build up, or what?
So, Piers, of these 500,000 local elections around the U.S., about 70% are uncontested or non-competitive. In 75% of the country, you essentially have one-party rule. So, an example, in California, we just kicked off with the Common Sense Party of California. We're registering new members every single day because they want a choice in their state. The same is happening in South Carolina and other states around the country. So we're going to get hundreds, even thousands of locally elected officials in office over the next several years and just keep on heading up from there.
Okay, and if it all works the way you're selling it to me, and it sounds very exciting, as I'd expect, if it works and you end up becoming President of the United States, you've got 20 seconds, how are you going to fix America?
We're going to fix America by bringing us together on the things Americans can actually agree on, and that is 75, 80% of the problem right now, Piers. If you get a group of Americans together, you're going to be shocked at how much we can get done when we get rewarded for solving problems, not just yelling about them.
And what's your number one priority?
Our number one priority right now is to remind Americans that we're all still one people and that your fellow Americans are not your enemy.
I rather like that. Andrew Yang, great to have you on the programme. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Piers. Appreciate it.
Good to see you.